Hello parents, as you know we're coming up on the end of the year, which means it's time to test your students' knowledge. I've made this brief video explaining EOCs, also known as end of course testing, in hopes that I can help you better understand your students' results. You may be asking yourself, what are EOCs? EOCs are multiple choice tests that are meant to provide an accurate measure of your students' knowledge and skills in a specific subject area. In other words, we want to test what your students have learned this year in English. Your student scores are reported in three ways: scale scores, percentiles, and achievement levels. I'll spend the remainder of this video going over each of these. In order to fully understand scale scores, I want to go over two concepts. First, we have raw scores. Raw scores are the number of questions answered correctly. For example, if your student takes a test that has 100 questions and they get 75 right, the raw score is 75. Our next concept is percent correct scores. Percent correct scores are the percent of questions answered correctly. So if your student takes a test that has 100 questions and they get 75 questions right, then they scored a 75%. Let's look at this table. On our left side we have the raw score. So if your student scored a 98, that means that in Form A they got a 199 and in Form B they got a 197. The difference between the two forms is that Form A is a little harder while Form B is a little bit easier. We have scaled scores so that we can account for the difficulty differences in Form A and Form B. So you'll see that with Form A, a student gets a 200 if they score either a 100 or 99. So that makes it equal to Form B. Our next report is percentiles. Percentiles show the student's ranking compared to other students who took the test. So if your student scored in the 50th percentile, that means that they performed better than 50% of the students who also took the test. Now it's important to remember when looking at percentile scores that if your student has a 50, that does not mean that they only got 50% of the questions right. Next we have achievement levels. Achievement levels are levels that correspond to a range of scale scores and compare the students to other groups. For example, your student's achievement level will be compared to the school and the state level. So your student can perform at 4 different levels. Level 1 is insufficient, meaning that they do not have the sufficient mastery of knowledge and skills. Level 2 is inconsistent, meaning that they are inconsistent in their mastery of the knowledge and skills. Level 3 is consistent, meaning that they are consistent in the mastery of knowledge and skills. And then you have the highest level, level 4, which means that they are superior. They are performing at a higher level that is clearly beyond what is required to be proficient. We have an example of an individual student report. A is the scale score, B is the achievement level, and C is the percentile that your student scored in. And then on the right side of the page, we have a table that compares your students' achievement levels with the school, system, and then the state from last year's test. After watching this video, if you feel like you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me at baxterbs@appstate.edu or give me a call at 555-555-555. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Created using Powtoon.